I've raced the fastest Ironman ever by an American woman with a time of 8:19, but I certainly did not start out this fast. So today I want to walk you through the things that helped me get faster in Ironman over time, and hopefully offer you guys too some things that you can implement that can help you also improve your Ironman times. Just to give you guys a little background and prove to you that I did not start out as a super elite Ironman athlete, and give little backstory. I started out, like most of you guys probably watching this video, just as an age grouper. I was coming off of college and I was a collegiate athlete, so I had that background going for me. But I heard about this Ironman thing and I was just interested and excited to see what the challenge could do for me. So when I signed up for my first Ironman, it was also the same time that I bought a bicycle. I was one of those people. And yeah, from there, I just kind of on my own and with friends kind of built training around that. So in my Ironman times that I'll put up somewhere next to me on one of these sides, I have listed all the Ironman results that I can find, and you'll see that I separated them into the handful of ones I did as an age grouper and then heading into pro racing. So this is important because one of the main things that helped me improve, especially in kind of my after kids portion of racing, when my times really came down, is just the actual lifestyle component that can really, really help your Ironman times. So back at the start, back in 2008, that's when I did my first Ironman. It was Ironman Wisconsin. And, you know, I think looking at everything, oh no, that's not my slowest time, but I did the training the best I could, but I wasn't really following a plan. I had a full-time job. All of those years that I was an age grouper, I also had a full-time job, obviously. And even my first 2 years as a pro, I still held my full-time job. So in that case, I was training 12, maybe a long week to 15 hours a week. And I was really just getting the time done as best I could and getting the training done as best I could. I was just the traditional weekend warrior. But also, I was not living a particularly healthy lifestyle. I was working, but I was also going out a lot. I was drinking. I was not paying attention to sleep. I was eating maybe okay, but I hadn't fully grasped the idea of fuel and fuel timing and just eating as fuel. So these are some of the things I'm going to crack into, and I will list them out for you guys and kind of explain as I go how I think this helped me progress from that first couple years going close to 11-hour Ironmans all the way down to the 8:19 Ironman. Tip number 1, get stronger on the bike. This does not mean you have to spend a lot of money and invest in the latest and greatest tech, although aerodynamics will help you quite a lot. The real thing to work on is your actual bike strength, durability, and endurance. This means riding your bike with groups, people that are stronger than you, and actually doing bike workouts. I'd say this was the biggest change for me that really affected my overall Ironman times, was going from several years of just going on bike rides, just doing whatever I felt like, to the idea of actually doing bike workouts. And nowadays, I feel like with Zwift and coaching and so many things, many of you are already doing specific bike workouts on a regular basis. But for me, back then, I was just riding and there just wasn't as much information out there. So my advice would be, if you're not doing structured bike workouts, it doesn't have to be every single bike ride, but at least a couple times a week doing something that is structured, and especially on the bike that you're going to be riding in a race. That's another thing I see a lot, is people will be just riding their road bikes and then magically think they're going to be okay racing on their tri-bike. So ride your tri-bike and do some structured workouts that you do in your aero bars, pushing hard power, and you can make them very easily come up on your Garmin when you're riding outside. It's so cool. And actually, as part of this video, a bonus for watching, I will be giving away a Garmin bike computer, and I will share more info about that at the very end. So watch to the end to learn how you can enter for a Garmin bike computer giveaway. That will help your training immensely. So I'm excited to give that to you. It's my favorite training tool for the bike. So yes, my big tip is the bike does matter a lot. It's the longest portion of an Ironman, and it is worthwhile to devote quite a bit of effort to getting strong on the bike, being very comfortable, riding your bike, shifting, doing hills, learning how to ride efficiently. That's going to make a humongous difference for your Ironman race. Tip number 2 is to fuel better, and you will have better performance. This goes for everyday fueling, eating meals and eating them with good timing around your workouts and throughout your day, but then also on race day, making sure that you are getting enough fuel. I even talk about like this with my kids. I say like, you have to put gas in the tank or the tank will run out and you're gonna be dead. And that's the simplest way to think about it. If you're not getting enough fuel into your tank during the race and during training and throughout your day on a daily basis, your performance is gonna plummet. There's no world that you should be training for long distance events and trying to cut calories or trying to restrict or not, in my opinion, you should eat all the food groups and you should eat that all the time. I do eat healthy. We do cook most of our meals at home. And I think a general rule of thumb is to really try to eat out as little as possible. That's just going to be healthy overall. So cooking your own meals, picking healthy options, like limited processed foods, stuff like that, that's going to be good fuel going into your body. And paying attention to that is going to help you so much with your energy and how you feel on a day-to-day basis. Tip number 3 is about running. Running is a huge passion of mine. I love running. And the cool thing about Ironman is it's not necessarily about speed or how fast you can run. It's about your durability. So a very important thing to have a fast Ironman marathon is making sure that after the swimming, after the hours on the bike, that your body's not going to just break down and shut down. So having muscular strength and durability is going to help you in the long run. So for me, I'm not a weight room gal. I don't do too much in the weight room except a lot of core and a lot of just stability and flexibility stuff. But having a strong core is your biggest asset late in the Ironman because that's what supports your whole body and your form. And as soon as your form starts to break down, then your running changes and weird things are going to hurt. And so many things are already hurting late in an Ironman that you don't need to compound that. Keep your core strong. And then for actual running strength and durability, to me, this is hills. Hill running on the roads is fine if you're not a trail person. But if you could get on trails, this really challenges all your different joints and tendons and helps build the durability and strength in your lower legs that will help you later in the Ironman race. Tip number 4, and possibly the most important one, is to improve over seasons and years and not single races. I did not jump from an 11-hour Ironman to an 8:19 in a short span of time. This took me a lot of years in the sport, a lot of learning and training and just years of improving my craft. And you will get better, but this type of thing in endurance sport, you usually don't improve that quickly. So it's cool because you can keep improving, and you can keep improving like many years into your life. I am 41 years old and I am still becoming the best triathlete I can be because there's so much to dive into. I had to go do a couple workouts, but I'm back and I've got 2 more tips, and I just want to remind you to stick around to the end because I will be sharing how you can enter and win your very own brand new fancy Garmin 520 bike computer. So tip number 5, and I realized this one once I was looking through all my old Ironman results, and I think I could have improved much, much quicker if I wasn't racing so much. So tip number 5 is to not over race. This is very simple, but it's also very tough when you're young and you're excited and races are really fun. And back then I didn't really have a set training structure. I didn't really have a real progression going. And so for me, it was much more fun to just go race as much as I could. And I'm actually shocked looking at all the Ironmans I was able to do in a really short period of time. And looking at 2014, which is the year that I did a lot of Ironmans, that was the year that I actually got married. And I think the reason I ended up doing a whole bunch there was to try and make enough money to pay for our wedding. So it was actually a financial decision. As you know, a lot of races are for pros. I think we pick our races, especially in the early years, but even still now, you want to pick races that you think you can make money at. I'm going to do a whole separate podcast kind of talking about the logistics of being a pro and how to make money as a pro. That's for another day. But today, the tip is not to over race. That brings us to our final tip, which is tip number 6. And this tip is to make yourself a sustainable schedule that allows for long-term health and enjoyment. So a lot of people do an Ironman as a bucket list event, and that is great. But if you have a goal of doing Ironman and then continuing to do them, Ironmans or half Ironmans, and continuing to progress, you need to make a schedule in your life that is actually sustainable and one that physically you can sustain, but also mentally. And you can't be burning your candle at both ends and going through life as like a angry, exhausted zombie all the time. That's not what it should feel like. For me, my general thing I try to pay attention to is in Ironman training, there should really only be like 1 or 2 weeks where you're really, really tired. And these are the last 2 weeks of like your big training build. After that, you're resting up for your race. If you're finding yourself way tired and exhausted and you've got 8 weeks till your race, you need to take a rest and kind of do a reset and then get back on with it. But you shouldn't be going through your whole life every single day feeling just like a dead zombie. That's not normal. And that's actually probably a sign that you're not adapting to the training that you're doing anyways. So really pay attention to that. And if you want to have long-term growth, you have to stay injury-free and you have to stay healthy. And if you are breaking yourself down too much, you're not going to be able to be either of these things. You're going to be hurt. You know, if you're getting hurt more than once a year, that's a bad sign. And if you're getting sick more than every once or twice a year, probably something is also going on. Or you just have like a toddler and then you're just going to get sick sometimes. You just got to deal with that. But that's my advice. This should be sustainable. It should be part of your life. You should be able to take some time, factor in how it fits in your calendar for you and for your family, and make it sustainable. Don't stress yourself out because then it's not going to be fun anymore. So that's my advice. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys. All right, to be entered to win the Garmin computer, all you have to do is be subscribed to my channel and comment down below how you would use this bike computer and kind of what your goals are this year that this bike computer would really help you achieve those goals. I'm going to personally read through all of the comments and decide who I think will be a great recipient for this bike computer, someone that could really benefit from it and can have a great year, and I will really hope to hear about how you use it. Hopefully these tips are helpful for you. If you have any thoughts or questions or anything, please drop those in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button. I hope to be bringing more videos like this. I also made one 5 tips for Ironman that may be helpful to you. Yep, I hope you'll tune in and watch my next video. Thanks for being here.